Dumbo ride.
Get on the ride at one time.
Right, Dumbo ride,
So,
right?
Yeah, so Peter Pan is another ride that's very low capacity.
Right.
But what they did, they completely redid the Dumbo ride for the new Fantasyland section that just opened. Well, actually, it's not really officially open till December the 4th, but it's now in soft opening. And the new Fantasyland area, they've moved Dumbo from where it was to a new section, and the new section is completely Dumbo, the movie Dumbo themed. So it's all circus.
Oh, neat.
And they've got, instead of having just one Dumbo carousel with the elephants, there's two. There's Dumbo left and Dumbo right. And instead of having to stand there bored in line while you're waiting, there's a circus tent, and there's all kinds of games and stuff, and I think that they give you a pager. Now, when I went there last time, there wasn't any line, so they didn't need to give me any pager, and and they had the interactive queue area closed because they didn't need it. But when it's crowded, kids will be able to play in this interactive queue area, so while they're waiting to get on Dumbo, there'll be all sorts of things and games and things to play and climb on while they're waiting.
Oh, cool.
And they've done this with the Winnie the Pooh ride. So now, when kids are in line to get onto Winnie the Pooh, there's all sorts of little things to touch and feel and play, and there's like a game that looks like potatoes, and kids like hit this thing and the potatoes pop in the air. There's like a whack-a-mole thing where you try to get the ground, the little rat-like animal that pops up out of the ground. I'm drawing a blank on what it's called. Prairie dogs. The prairie dogs pop up.
Okay.
And there's like a tug of war where you try to pull prairie dogs out of the hole, and there's just all kinds of little things. There's a honey thing that is like it's like a big computer screen that you touch, and you could draw in the honey, but it's a computer screen.
Right.
It looks like honey dripping down, and so there's all sorts of little touchy-feely things for kids to do in these lines. So when it's your turn to get on the ride, you forgot that you were waiting for half an hour maybe to get on the ride because you were having fun.
Right.
And also in the new Dumbo area that's circus themed, they've got a water play area that looks like a whole bunch of circus animal cars.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah,
the animals sticking out, so there's like an elephant trunk sticking out of one of the circus cars, and there's water spraying out of it.
That's kind of neat.
It is neat, and it's not just a little spritz either. I mean, if you go over there, you're going to be soaked. Absolutely. But, when it's 90 degrees and it's hot and humid out in the summer, who cares if you get soaked? You want to get soaked.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
But parents might want to be aware of that. If you have a dining reservation and you're going to have a family picture taken, if you let your kids go and play in that play area and they get soaking wet, you kind of want to make sure that you have a change of clothes for your kids.
Yeah, but yeah.
And parents too. I mean, parents might want to get a little close to keep an eye on your kids. Get a little close and you'll get soaked.
But don't have your cell phone or your camera or any electronic device near that water though. You just don't want to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to get wet.
Yeah, it's going to get wet.
But the way Disney did it too is that they've got this, not a high wall, but like a low wall all the way around it, so that there's really only one way to get in and out.
Oh, that's cool.
So your kids, so if you stay in, by the entrance, your kids have to come out where you are. They can't, because you wouldn't want to have your kids in an area where you could not watch them,
right,
and have them vanish or something. So they've made it so that
it's child safe.
So that it's safe, and then and cast members, of course, are everywhere, so they can keep an eye on what's going on in the same area.
Right. And another question is too as well. I got for you. Having the franchise of having the rights of Disney with Star Wars, what attractions do you think they're going to have for next year that's going to be out, maybe in the cruises or the amusement parks? What do you think is going to happen there with that? Good question.
That is a good question, and I would think, although they had the rights to the characters before,
yeah,
because they've had Star Wars weekends, and they've had, like, for instance, in Hollywood Studios, they haven't had it for a while because Disney changes things up.
Right.
So for a while they had a parade, character parade, and when they did the character parade, Darth Vader and the
Yoda came out.
Skywalker and Stormtroopers and those characters, the Chewbacca were part of that parade.
That's right.
Now that was. But see, a couple years ago, they changed from the character parade to Block Party Bash, which was more Toy Story themed.
Right.
And so when they did that, you really didn't, except for Star Wars weekends, you didn't really see the Star Wars characters in the parks that much, unless you went over to, they have, over by the Star Wars ride, they have, what's it called? I'm drawing a blank on